What's up, y'all? Today's the 16th of August, 2026. This is a video under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. My name is Evan Strong, the founder and leader for life of In the Image Clothing Company. Let's talk about the body. As we do, there's only one way the human body could ever work. Yikes, there's only one way the human body could ever work. No possible opinion to it or dispute. Also, there's no sales pitch with that. We discussed the anatomy of the human body in such depth here under In the Image Clothing Company. There's no question to it. You couldn't dispute truth. Physics, universal laws outside of all of us, gravity and its vertical pull coming down to mesh with the horizontal surface of the planet Earth to make a 90-degree right perpendicular angle. Well, the center line of our bodies, the sternum, the spine, the trachea, the nose, the jaw stabilizing the entire body with musculature up to the crown of the head, down to the upper ribs and out to the edges of our shoulders. Well, this jaw musculature, it's in the center line of the body, but it also goes through the collars of our tops. We're a clothing company. Our slogan is allowing the body to work. In the Image Clothing Company here. Collars of tops need to stay centered and snug. Necklaces, whatever it is around the neck. So here's the thing. The feet start on the horizontal surface of the earth. Before you could ever go up a hill or down a hill, you have to start horizontal. Before you could ever lift the foot lever up off the hinge of the ankle, dorsiflexion, or point the foot lever down off the hinge of the ankle, plantar flexion, you have to start neutral or horizontal. There's a neutral position to the entire human being. There's no possible opinion to it. It's mathematics. A neutral height to the shoulders. It meshes with the neutral position to the wrist. A neutral front and back to the arms, hanging down with Earth's vertical gravity pull, pulling the pendulum of the hand down from the other end of the arm at the shoulder. Okay, there's only one way the human body could ever work. I mean it. It's always been the exact same. It's not like it's some kind of sales pitch or new breakthrough. It's the truth. The body grows by itself. The motion in the body is determined by the shape and length of the bones. They just connect directly to each other through ligaments. And they'll never possibly do anything else besides connect. The only way they're shaped on the end. Otherwise, they just don't mesh together. There's a thin layer of cushioning between the bones we call cartilage. And if the bones aren't meshing properly, they just will wear each other out. After they wear the cushioning between them out, the bones just rub on each other, and that's a lot of pain and damage to the body. Okay, so there's only one way the human body could ever work. No possible opinion to it that could ever possibly matter. Watch this. My own included, though, as well. Evan Strong, the founder and leader for life of In the Image Clothing Company. I don't have anything that can matter as far as an opinion on the body that grows by itself. All we can do is understand it. It's something that we've been given, designed in the image of God. In the image of Jesus Christ, this body grows by itself and we clothe it with things. If we do, we're a clothing company. Our 5-word company name, In the Image Clothing Company. There's truly only one way the human body could ever work. It's not new information, unless you just didn't understand it until whenever you did. I didn't know until I was about 24 years old. My body was in deep, deep chronic patterning. This sounds like a sales pitch, but it's truth. I'll be doing this the rest of my entire lifetime, so if you think that I'm just trying to sell you something, get some money and run, I'll be here for life, deepening and deepening and deepening the understandings and discussions on the truth of the only way this mechanical machine placed onto this rock in space called Earth could ever work. The human body is a mechanical machine. It's fueled by food, lubricated by water. There's only one way the body could work. The point is, it resides in its neutral positions. In the entire body, there's a neutral position. And again, it's just measurable mathematics. It's just the way the bones connect. Certain motion can only happen in one position and not in the other position of the body. It just only does what it does. Grows by itself, so. Anyway, this video's title, the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, spoken by me. Evan Strong, the founder, and I will be leading this for the rest of my entire life as well, in the Image Clothing Company, right? The body works before we can understand how it does. That's the title of this video, because let's talk about something that we talk about, but let's talk about it in a way that I haven't quite said yet under video until today's date, the 16th of August, 2026. Right, in the Image Clothing Company. The thing is, we discuss how you can't train the body to do something. You've got sports coaches and you've got personal trainers, and then also you've just got people practicing motions in the body individually. So whether somebody's trying to teach your body how to do something new, that can't happen, different than the shape and length of the bones connecting directly to each other through ligaments, or if it's you individually trying to train a motion or do something with your body that it just can't do, that's different than the only way the bones grow by themselves and connect together through ligaments, it doesn't matter who's doing it, it's impossible. All muscles do is pull. Muscles connect to bones through tendons, and they just pull directly in line from where they're connected on one end to a bone and the other end. Those two ends just get pulled together, or maybe three ends, or however many end points. The body just gets pulled together, one bone to another bone, by muscles. But there's always opposing muscles. So we pull, and even what seems like a push. Pulling muscles on the backside of a hinge joint, like the triceps on the rear of the upper arm. This is the backside of the elbow joint. We pull muscles to extend a lever off a hinge, and we think it's a push maybe, but we're just pulling muscles to extend a lever off a hinge joint. The body can't push. That doesn't happen. It's not possible. Muscles come together. It's an electrical system sent from the brain. The brain's a computer, really, truly, that grows by itself. God does it. Nothing happens unless it does. And this human being is so complex, it's kind of unreal, but it's real. Electrical impulses get sent from the brain, down the brain stem, stemming into the spine, down the spine of the body, through this spinal cord, and then out through all these little electrical pathways, the nervous system of the body, to all the body. Little electrical impulses get sent, and when they get sent to muscles to tell the muscles to work, they fire and get closer together. All muscles do is pull. So we've got bones being the only shape and length that they grow to be, being connected directly through ligaments where they're not going to separate or do anything else besides just how they're connected. And then we've got muscles connecting to these bones through tendons, and they only connect how they do. And muscles only pull directly in line. We've always got a neutral position to the entire human being. We've got different length forefingers that mesh and wrap evenly around a different length opposable thumb that plays an entirely different function than the fingers do. We've got 5 different length toes within this universal human design that we evenly roll off the ends of to share the weight. In the Image Clothing Company doesn't have a sales pitch. It's truth. It's mathematics. It's biology. It's anatomy. It's physics, mathematics, but it's also just the earth that the human being grows from. We're literally only what we have eaten. We eat plants that grow from the earth, or we eat animals that ate plants that grew from the earth, and then that becomes the human being. Literally. That's what the body is. That's how it exists. Growing from just a small human to a larger one, more food has gone into the body. This food is earth. Broken down to the smallest form, we call it matter, that can't be created or destroyed. There's always everything here before and after now. So there truly is only one way the human body could ever work. There's no opinion possible to it, myself included, me, Evan Strong. So today, on the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, which I am personally the founder of, we've got this video with the title being, The body works before we can understand how it does. The point being, all the parts of the body are there before we could even know they're there to develop a term to call them. We've got terminology, muscles, ligaments, tendons, bones. That in itself is terminology. Words to describe what these things are in the body. Organs. That's a word we've come up with as a human being to describe something. Terminology. That comes secondary to the body just growing by itself. It's already just what it is before we could label what it is. But then within these things, we've got certain muscles. You've got trapezius, triceps, quadriceps, hamstrings, any muscle we could label in the body. This is just terminology so we know what we're talking about when we just hear the words being said. But the body already worked before there was ever terminology to discuss how it works. And what about stuff like this? Flexion and extension, internal rotation, external rotation. These are terminologies to describe what the body's doing, but the body already worked and does before we could understand how it does. The problem is, human beings try to get their bodies to do things. All the body does is rest in a good posture. There's even mathematical opposing bends in the body from front and back to stay vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Look at this tree behind me. It's vertical because it grows straight up vertical with gravity. The human being stands vertical with gravity. The ankles bend backward behind gravity's pull. The knees bend forward in front of gravity's pull. The hips bend backward behind gravity's pull. The low back bends forward in front of gravity's pull. The mid back bends backward behind gravity's pull. And the neck, which is the upper back or the cervical spine, bends forward in front of Earth's vertical gravity pull. Earth's vertical gravity pull comes down and meshes with the horizontal surface of the planet Earth to make this perpendicular 90-degree right angle like we discussed at the beginning of this video here on the 16th of August 2026 under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, titled "The Body Works Before We Can Understand How It Does." Yeah, all this stuff's happening. Physics, it's the tree. Look, the trees exist before human beings do, or regardless of human beings, if we say it like that. All the animals on the earth. A rock falls off the side of a cliff because the wind or an earthquake, and it just gets pulled down with gravity, the same that gravity pulls down on our bodies. But then us as human beings, with our bodies that grow by themselves, design clothing to place onto our bodies. The literal word of clothing. The only thing physically placed onto our physical bodies. Something placed on something else is clothing it, the way that God clothes the fields with grass, as it says in the Holy Bible. So, gravity's got the same effect on our clothing that it has on our bodies. That's a point, okay? But the point is, the body just works. Before we could ever clothe it with anything, before we could ever use this human body to make any man-made things, clothing being one of those, but man-made flooring, any kind of thing we have, a product we could discuss, things to hold in our hands, food that we could alter, make it man-made, if you will. It's not real food at that point. It doesn't benefit the body. The body's only natural. There's no opinion to it. It's pulled from the earth, literally. Unnatural materials we make as human beings. The body can get altered. So before I talk about some things here in this video about the body truly only ever being able to do what it does before we could even understand that it's happening, on the 16th of August 2026, today's date, under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, the body works before we can understand what it does. Well, let's understand some things here. We get into chronic patterning. There's a pattern to walking. The arms swing forward and back, and the legs swing forward and back. Watch this. When I walk, I don't do anything with my brain, with my mind. I don't think about it intellectually to try to swing my arms forward and back. But physics exists, motion, mathematics, these universal laws outside of all of us and how things work. Even if it were to be a robot made of wood or metal or anything we could make a robot out of, with all the same parts as a human being, the same physical functioning, it would do the exact same thing as a human being. The body's just a mechanical machine. So to be able to walk, this video's title, the 16th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site, is the body works before we can understand how it does. So we don't get to decide how it does, okay, is the point. But when we walk, the motion only does what it does. There's this thing called inertia. Once something gets moving, it wants to keep moving, okay? There's also these laws about every action has an equal and an opposite reaction, An object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by something. An object at rest stays at rest unless something acts upon it. Something that's moving keeps moving unless something slows it down, okay? What I mean is things get slowed down by the friction in the air, okay? The resistance of pushing against the air as we move. Gravity pulling down on us, that'll slow us down as well with motion. Just touching against something, it'll slow it down the way that you can have brakes slow something down by them pinching on the rotor as it's spinning. It'll slow down the motion because it's rubbing against it and causing a force to be acted against the motion that's happening. What I'm saying is it's all physics. It's truly just what it is, whether it's a human being or anything else ever to exist. So what we have with walking, okay, 16th of August, 2026, this video's title, under In The Image Clothing Company's main side, is we swing the arms forward and back, opposite of what the legs are doing, but we don't do this intellectually. It's a transfer of weight. One leg swinging forward on one side of the body. If we swing the right leg forward, we swing the left arm forward in an opposite motion to just keep the body centered. If we swing the left leg forward, we'll swing the right arm forward, opposite motion to keep the body centered. But this just happens. If you couldn't swing your arms forward and back when you walk, you'd have your core, like your hips and your spine and all the muscles throughout that area, getting excessively tight, excessively stiff, working excessively hard, because swinging one leg forward would actually twist us. If we didn't have the arms just swinging forward and back, opposing the legs swinging forward and back, right leg forward, left arm forward, left leg forward, right arm forward, we'd twist. If you just stood and didn't have arms, and you just swing your left leg forward, it'll turn you right. If you just stood and swung your right leg forward and didn't have arms to counterbalance the weight, it'll turn you left. The 16th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, the body works before we can understand how it does. So when we walk, we've got an even transfer of weight. Right leg swings and the left arm swings. The left leg swings and the right arm swings. And this is happening in a neutral position. Neutral in rotations from internal or external rotation in both the legs motion and the arms motion, but also there's this crossing across the body. The center of the body stays stable because as one side swings forward, at the lower part of the body, The other side of the body swings forward at the upper part of the body. And so we stay balanced, and it's nothing we're doing. That's what I mean. The body works before we can understand how it does. This video is titled the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site. There's only one way the human being walks. You walk with your arms folded. And your body will twist. Your spine will twist. Your hips will rotate. External on one side, internal on the other, back and forth and back and forth. You're twisting your body. If you don't have this counterbalance from the opposite arm and the opposite leg. I can stand here and I could swing my right leg forward pretty hard. And I can keep my spine in the center as long as I swing my left arm forward pretty hard as well. But if I didn't use my left arm to swing with my right leg and I just kicked my right leg forward, it would twist me. The 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. This video is titled, The Body Works Before We Can Understand How It Does. Meaning, if we didn't have our arms swinging forward and back, opposing our legs swinging forward and back, we couldn't walk straight forward. But this isn't something we learn to do. This is a transfer of weight that just happens. This is physics that just does what it does. Just motion. In order for the body to move and not fall over, it has to have opposing things happening from the arm to the leg. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. We just have to have opposing things happening. So let's say you've got somebody with an amputation. You've got somebody's left arm cut off from the elbow down to the fingertips. The forearm, the wrist, the hand, it's all gone. They just have the upper arm bone, the humerus, from the shoulder down to the elbow. You know, somebody with an arm like this cut off, an amputated forearm from the elbow down to the fingertips, they're going to get stiff, tight hips that are overworked, overly trying to stabilize the right leg because the left arm isn't fully there to do the opposing motion that the right leg does. So the hips have to excessively stabilize because they don't have the same amount of weight with half their arm cut off from the elbow down and an amputated left arm. But they also just don't have that inertia, that motion, that swinging of just this motion. Once it starts moving, it wants to keep moving until the other side tells it to switch. For the body to stay stable in the center. The 16th of August, 2026, this video is titled under In the Image Clothing Company's main site, The Body Works Before We Can Understand How It Does. Yeah, I mean, you'll get a very stiff spine, overworked, trying to excessively stabilize this motion of the legs swinging forward and back. If you don't have even arms on both sides of the body, for the pendulum of the motion to happen, and just the weight as well. Physics. It is what it is. Alright? Your body will be trying to rotate, and it won't have something to counter the rotation. Not evenly, right? If you had one arm cut off, let's say. So there you go. There's part of the understanding that we can develop from this video. On the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. The body works before we can understand how it does. Because we don't do it. We don't swing our arms. It happens. It's an opposing motion. It's like just standing here and I pull one arm forward like this. Before it comes down and rests with gravity, on the 16th of August 2026. This video's title, under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, "The body works before we can understand how it does." Well, pulling my arm forward like that and then releasing it, before it comes down and just rests with gravity, the arm will swing backward behind my body. And then swing forward. And backward, less and less and less and less, as gravity's pulling on it to slow down its motion until gravity stops its motion altogether and the arm rests. It's a pendulum. It's physics. It's walking. The right leg goes forward and the left arm goes forward to balance us out. Okay? And vice versa. The left leg goes forward and the right arm goes forward to balance us out. I can do it really abrupt like that and not put strain and stress on the center of my body. The musculature evenly opposing the center line from right and left and right in the body. Okay? There's only one way the human body could ever work. The body works before we can understand how it does. 16th of August 2026, In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. That's the title. Because it does. It just does what it does. And only ever. You'll never possibly get the human being to do anything besides what it does. So there's an understanding with walking, because we don't do it. It happens. Before you realize it does happen, maybe you're walking down the street. There might be an airplane flying overhead like there is here right now for me. But regardless, maybe you're walking down a street, and as you are, you start to realize, like, wow, I'm really swinging my arms as I walk, opposing what my legs are doing. And then you might start to realize, wait, no, I'm not. I'm not choosing to do this. It's just happening. Try to stop swinging your arms when you walk. Your legs will stiffen up. Your back will stiffen up. Your hips, your whole body will be overworked trying to stabilize when we don't have even opposing function happening. Okay. 16th of August 2026. In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. This video's title, "The Body Works before we can understand how it does." There's a video's title under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here currently titled, the title is, "One side of the body accommodates for the other side." And it does, right? One side of the body does the opposing thing the other side does. External rotation on the left side is internal rotation on the right side, and the center stays centered. External rotation on the right side is internal rotation on the left side, and the center stays centered at the spine where the sides connect into. Okay? It's always a neutral position to the entire body. So the point is, let's talk about something like a sport, okay? In the Image Clothing Company's main site, the 16th of August 2026. This video's title, "The Body Works before we could understand how it does." Personally, me, Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, and here to lead this for life, I'm really athletic. I don't mean to brag, but in all truth, there's a lot of sports that I've got a lot of experience with and that I can play very well. My body works very well as well. I have this company here, In the Image Clothing Company, and our slogan under our main site is "Allowing the Body to Work," where you are here, right? I preach what I have practiced. Just for context, I personally have played a lot of sports, and I'm good at a lot of sports. Just the case, okay? A lot of practice, but also I'm just pretty naturally athletic. What I'm saying is, let's say something like basketball. Whether you've ever played basketball or you like it or don't like it, that doesn't matter right now. You've got a ball. You hold the ball and there's a hoop or a rim, a circle. You're going to throw this ball and get it to go through this hoop or the circle, the rim. How is this going to happen? Physics. You'll never get the body to do anything besides the shape and length of the bones connecting directly to each other through ligaments and muscles connecting to those bones through tendons and just pulling directly in line. It's a neutral position to the entire human being. There truly is only one way the human body could ever work. No possible opinion to it. It's mathematics. You can measure it by yourself. Okay. Your body needs to be unaltered first. But the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, this video's title, "The Body Works Before We Can Understand How It Does." What I mean by your body needs to be unaltered first is that's really what we do here under In the Image Clothing Company's main site, is we get out of chronic patterning that gets built up in the body. So you've got to remember that first of all. If your body's within chronic patterning, then this might seem like some foreign concept. But this is undisputed mathematical truth. The body always has a neutral position to every single function within it. There truly is only one way the human body could ever possibly work. Universal laws outside of all of us, even just gravity, okay, pulling straight down on us. You're playing basketball. You've got to first support this ball in your hand. Let's say you're right-handed. 85% to 90%, give or take, of the entire population of the earth is right-handed. That's a patterning in itself. Using one side of the body more than the other side. There's a center to the body. We've got to use both sides of the body evenly, okay, to stay centered. With earth-centered gravity pull and bone in the center line of our body, there's no opinion to it. There's only one way the body could ever work with a human being. And animals as well. In the Image Clothing Company Poodle is one of our fourths. You've got ribs on either side of your body that'll expand differently if you're not centered physically on Earth's surface, meshing with the centered pull to gravity. You won't even be able to breathe if you're not physically centered, all right? Without a deep patterning. Like being right-handed in itself, like I'm saying, it's a pattern. The body works before we can understand how it does. It only does what it does. 16th of August, 2026. This video's title under In the Image Clothing Company's main site. The body works before we could understand how it does. We've got 2 feet evenly opposing the center line of the human being, gripping arches inward with these different length 5 toes within the universal human design. That's how we stay vertical. But you're shooting a basketball, okay? You've got a ball, you've got to first support the ball on top of your hand. So your forearm has to be vertical. If your forearm was leaning left, well, Earth's vertical gravity pull is still vertical. The ball would fall off your hand with your forearm leaning left. If your forearm was leaning right, Earth's vertical gravity pull is still vertical. The ball would fall off your hand. If your hand wasn't straight above your elbow, but your forearm was leaning right. So you've got to first start with Earth's vertical gravity pull and holding the ball just above your hand. There's only one way this happens. With your forearm vertical. There's no technique to train. There's no training of the body that's physically possible to ever do. There's physics that have always and will always work the exact same. And there's the body that grows by itself and has always and will always work the exact same. As it ever has or will. The 16th of August, 2026, this video's title, In the Image Clothing Company's main site. The body works before we can understand how it does. You don't have to like basketball, but you first have to have your forearm vertical to have something balance on the palm of your hand without it falling off. It's physics, it's gravity. But also, there's only one way you can have your forearm vertical, because there's 2 bones in the forearm, the radius and ulna, that mesh into the elbow joint which is a joint of 3 bones. The upper arm bone, called the humerus, comes down and meshes into the radius and ulna, the 2 bones in the forearm. So there's only one way you can have this happen. To even keep the ball vertical without it falling off your forearm first, there's no technique to train. There's only one way the bones connect in the body. You take your arms from hanging down at your sides and you bend them at the elbows, so now they're pointing forward. You internally rotate your right forearm, bring the thumb in. Now you lift the arm up above that position, just bringing it up vertically like this. Then you bring the wrist back, you set a ball on it. It's physics. There's only one way the bones connect in the body. There's only one way you'll ever possibly get to this position. There's no technique to train. It's just the body only does what it does. Before we could ever understand what it does, this video's title, the 16th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site, the body works before we can understand how it does. So now you're bent at the elbow. The upper arm bone, the humerus, is still just hanging straight down with Earth's vertical gravity pull. You're internally rotated at the forearm, the 2 bones, the radius and ulna. You bring the wrist back and lift the forearm up, bringing the humerus forward to about a 90-degree angle. The forearm's vertical with Earth's vertical gravity pull in all the ways, left and right, but really front and back as well. Now you've got a ball on top of your hand. It won't fall off with gravity. But there's only one way you can possibly physically, mechanically, anatomically get to that position. It's like this. Bend the elbow, internally rotate the forearm, bring the wrist back, lift the arm up, and it's got to be vertical. Now in this position, you're going to throw the ball. All you're doing is pulling a muscle where it connects to bones on either end. The tricep muscles on the back of the upper arm bone, called the humerus, connect to the elbow joint where the radius and ulna meet the upper arm bone, the humerus. And then they come up and they connect to the shoulder joint where the humerus meets the collarbone and shoulder blade, the scapula and the clavicle. It's just all what it is. This muscle on the rear of the upper arm bone, the triceps, there's 3 of them. Tri, that means 3. Ceps, they pull together. But they only pull directly in line, so you have to point your arm exactly to where you want it to go, and now you just pull the muscles together. It'll never do anything else. There's no technique to possibly train. There's only one way the bones connect in the body. This video's titled, the 16th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site. The body works before we can understand how it does. So now you've pulled the muscles to extend the hinge joint of the elbow. You didn't push the ball away from you. You pulled the ball away from you, truly. Pulled muscles to extend a hinge, and it just catapulted the ball away from you. And now you're going to use muscles in the forearm to pull the hand closer to the elbow, wrapping the hand up and around the wrist joint, essentially, like this. But the bones only track directly in line. Muscles connect to these bones directly and only pull directly in line. There's no possible technique to ever train in the human being. It's impossible. There's no new information. It's not a sales pitch. This is mathematics. It's truth. The body works before we can understand how it does. This video's titled, the 16th of August, 2026. Under In The Image Clothing Company's main site. We're a clothing company? Yeah. Allowing the body to work is our slogan. So there's only one way you can possibly shoot a basketball. The way the body works. If you're going to make a robot, you've got to make the robot able to shoot a basketball. It only will shoot the basketball if you build it in a position it can. The human body is essentially a robot. It only could possibly shoot a basketball the way that it could shoot a basketball. And there's a neutral position to the entire human being. It might sound crazy. It's no opinion, no new information, as I've said, but it's just to make it clear. This is eternal truth. It's been this way always as well, for every human being to ever live on any end of time. There's a universal human design, and it's just physics. It's just mechanical operations. Hinges, levers, rotations. Measurable mathematical degrees of functioning. That's all the human being is. So there's only one way you'll ever possibly shoot a basketball with the human body. You know, I mean, it's not a blanket statement. We could discuss the anatomy and any kind of position you could try to do it in. It's always just mechanical operations. And there's always just only one way the bones in the body are shaped. They just grow by themselves. And, you know, I say maybe like since we're full grown until we die, it's the exact same. But really, since you're a baby until you're full grown as well, the body's the same thing. It's just getting proportionately larger, and the bones are still forming until we're full grown. But then, yeah, at least once you're full grown until you die, there's only one way the body could ever possibly do any physical motion. And it's only what it is. So that's the thing. This video is titled the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. The body works before we could understand how it does. And so, as crazy as it could seem, and it's always the case, you don't have to believe in anything for truth to be truth. It's impossible to train motion to happen that differs from the only way the body grows and mechanically just functions. So you can spend day in, day in, day out, day in, day and day after day for the rest of your life trying to train motions in your body. But if you don't know how your body works, you will never achieve what you're trying to do. It's impossible. It's physically impossible. Nobody could have an opinion on it. I'm not all worked up because I think I had some breakthrough that I want you to care about. It doesn't matter if I even existed. This is truth forever. It has nothing to do with me, Evan Strong, other than a deep understanding. And I'm the founder and leader for life of In the Image Clothing Company here, where this is what we do. It's about things like this: amputations, deformities, birth defects, major surgeries, injuries you're healing from. It's about clothing the body with anything and not altering the body. Things like joints of material of clothing meshing with joints of body parts. For example, one of the things. There's a lot of imbalances in clothing that get us into chronic patterning. And so if you're in a pattern of working and your body is just trying to move around something that's physically in its way, we're doing everything we do in life in and through the literal word of clothing our bodies with anything. So if it's in the way of your body moving, your body's not going to move. The only way your body can, there's no possible opinion to it. I mean, it's just a machine, man. Literally. Unless you break a bone, separate bones at the ligaments, pull a muscle away from a bone where it connects to it at a tendon, or something like this, the body will never have any motion be possible in it besides just how it's connected, which is extremely specific. Look at the knuckles of my hands, or yours. They're only ever going to mesh if they're meshing. Okay, wow, that's simple enough to understand. For everybody who has one, or everyone who has a body, literal wording, truth is truth. We don't get to decide it or change it as human beings, yeah. There's no possible opinion to what we're doing here under In the Image Clothing Company, as far as our slogan being allowing the body to work, being the only thing you can do. You'll never get the body to do anything besides just what it can already do. The body works before we understand how it does. Well, before we can understand how it does, is this video's title on the 16th of August, 2026. In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, we also say there's only one way the human body could ever work. Well, that's the thing. It's already going to be able to do what it's going to be able to do. It'll never do any more than that. You're not going to train the body to do something new. It's impossible. It's impossible. It is. You might think you're doing something, but, you know, then your body's stiff and sore because you've just forced it to try to do something it didn't fully do, but you almost forced it to. No. There's only one way. And there's no possible opinion. It's physics. So we discuss it for the sake of doing what our slogan is here under In the Image Clothing Company, allowing the body to work. Every body has one. It's got to be able to work as well as it can, or else it just doesn't. Breathing. There's only one way it happens. Before we understand how it does. The heart pumping blood through the entire body. The body works before we can understand how it does. Standing. We're all doing it before we understand really how. I mean, as a baby, your body isn't being taught how to walk. Your body's just walking for the first time. It's not like you're having your body do something that's a new thing you're getting it to do. It's just something it hasn't done yet. But it's not new for the body to deal with Earth's vertical gravity pull. But you're just crawling as a baby, and as you figure out how your body just already would be able to stand and do it for the first time, you stand up. As you figure out how your body is already able to just have this motion of walking happen, you just do it for the first time. You didn't do anything new. It's your first, but it's not new for your body as far as something that's new that it's able to have the possibility of doing. The body already does that. It just hasn't done it yet. You go play a sport and the body already can only do the motions it does, but you just maybe haven't done this yet. But you've done this. Walking, swinging your arm forward and back. 16th of August, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main site here. The body works before we can understand how it does. You've already walked, swinging your arm forward and back, even if you've never played basketball. You've already bent your elbow before, even if you've never played basketball. You've already internally rotated your forearm before, even if you've never played basketball. You've already lifted your arm up before, even if you've never played basketball. Now all you got to do is just rest a ball in your hand. Maybe you've never done that before. But now all you do from here is just extend your elbow, which you've already done before. Maybe getting up out of bed. You can't train something. It's impossible in the body. I'll be doing this the rest of my entire life, meaning it's not like I've come in here with some breakthrough. I'm going to change the whole game. Well, let's teach some people what's really happening. It's always been happening. It's not new. But if you don't understand it, you just don't understand it. As I didn't until I was about 24 years old, a few years ago from today's date, 16th of August, 2026. But under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, this video's title has and always will be The Truth. Undisputed factual mathematics. The body works before we can understand how it does. And the thing is, it's not just mathematics only as far as the motion of the hinges and levers of the bones, but things like the heart pumping blood, the lungs breathing, exchanging oxygen, and carbon dioxide, stranding together DNA, all of the things in the body that it does, thought processes, intellect, and electrical synapses in the brain. All of this stuff is always and has always happened, always will just happen before any individual human being could even understand that it's happening. We'll never get the body to do anything. It's impossible. It's not some kind of proclamation from here forth. It's always been the case. It's the truth. Always. You'll never get the body to do anything besides what it's always been able to do. It just might be your first time doing it personally. Kicking a ball. Let's talk about some more things. Let's keep going with this for now, as far as we do with this video specific. The 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, the body works before we can understand how it does. If you kick a ball, just like I was saying with shooting a basketball, there's truly only one way the mechanical operations in the body happen to have that motion take place. It's only what it is, and that's it, ever, right? Kicking a ball, like soccer, American soccer, you're just swinging your leg forward to slam your foot into a ball. There's only one way the body could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate in the human being, and any animal too that just grows by itself. You'll never train the body to do anything. It's physically, mechanically impossible. Mathematically impossible. Truly impossible. The upper leg bone is a lever off the hinge of the hip. Earth's vertical gravity pull just pulls the pendulum of the foot vertical from the other end of the leg at the hip. Sound familiar? The pendulum of the hand gets hung down with Earth's vertical gravity pull from the other end of the arm at the shoulder. There's only one way the human body could ever work, always and forever, on every end of time. No new information. Kicking a ball. We're swinging the leg. This upper leg bone is a lever off the hinge of the hip. It's called the femur. It connects very specifically into the hip, a ball and socket joint, the femoral head into the acetabulum of the hip. There's only one way these bones are shaped. They connect directly to each other through ligaments. There's only one way the muscles connect to these bones, through tendons, and all muscles do is pull. And directly in line. There's only one way the human body could ever work. It's no new information. It's the truth, the 16th of August, 2026. This video's title, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, the body works before we can understand how it does. Kicking a ball, we swing the lever of the upper leg off the hinge of the hip. Beneath that, the upper leg connects to the two lower leg bones, the tibia and the fibula, just like the radius and ulna in the forearm. Oh, this sounds familiar. There's only one way the human body could ever work. No possible opinion to it. I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. The tibia and the fibula, the two lower leg bones, they come up and connect into the upper leg bone, the femur, and the ends of these three bones are very specifically shaped to mesh together. But not only that, they mesh together, and there's another little bone there called the patella, the kneecap, if you will, which just has to glide nicely between these three bones connecting, the tibia and the fibula and the lower leg bones, connecting into the upper leg bone, the femur. This little ball, well, it's not a ball necessarily, it's kind of a flat little round bone, the patella, the kneecap. It just glides on the groove of the ends of these bones that are only the shape and length that they are because the body grows by itself. God does it. Nothing happens unless it does. How does this human being just come from food? Jesus Christ. Don't believe me? The 16th of August, 2026, this video's title, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, the body works before we can understand how it does. Well, we swing the leg off the hip, a lever off a hinge. But there's also the lower leg lever off the hinge of the knee. The upper leg lever is off the hinge of the hip, and then we've got the foot lever off the hinge of the ankle. And all of this just connects the way it does, and we're just using motion, inertia, swinging forward to hit a ball. The only way the bones are shaped is the only way they can move. Muscles only pull them directly in line where they connect to them. So down at the bottom of the lower leg bones, the tibia and the fibula, it connects into the 27 bones in the foot. 26? One of the two. Pretty sure it's 27. Either way, all the bones in the foot, you count them if you want. It's just what it is. The body works before we understand how it could. That's the point. It does what it does. Even if you don't know the terminology, it's all there. Even before there is terminology, it's all there. The entire body, working activated as a whole, everything having its own individual role to play and playing its own function to stabilize and support everything else within the human being. Because anywhere any of the body goes, all of it comes. No opinion to it. There's only one way the human body could ever work. 16th of August, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main site here, this video's title. The body works before we can understand how it does. So yeah, all these hinges and levers in the leg, all we're doing is just swinging the leg forward and back on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Look at me just stand normally. All the motion in my body still as my right leg swinging forward and back. The rest of my body is neutral. And I just aim this lever of the whole leg. I'm swinging off the hinge of the hip at a ball and slam my foot into it. Oof. There's only one way the human body could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate. There's no training how to kick a ball. I played a lot of American soccer in my life, personally. I love it. It's a great sport, I'd say. That's an opinion, but yeah. I have played a lot of soccer. American soccer. Played a lot of sports in my life, though. But now at 27 years old, I understand how the body works, and my body works the only way it could, meaning my entire body resides in the position it always would, unless or until altered. The neutral position. It remains in every single function because that's how physics works. There's two sides to something. When we rest in the neutral, like swinging the arms forward or back, gravity rests them neutral. Like swinging the leg forward or back, gravity rests it neutral. Before we can understand any of this, it's already happening. The body works before we can understand how it does. This video's title is 16th of August 2026 under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. Spoken by Evan Strong, that's me, the founder, and I'll be leading this for my entire life. In the Image Clothing Company here, right? So there's enough explanation of a few different ways we can see that the body really only could ever possibly do what it's always been able to do. Now, why isn't it able to? Why are people trying to train motions that are just already there in their body? Chronic patterning. It can come through anything. But if we're in a position that's not neutral, now the body's going to work out of an imbalance. It's going to build up a pattern that's not just a normal inline working. Okay? Right-handed world, 85%, 90 maybe % of human beings, like I said earlier in this video, on the 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. Yeah, we live in a right-handed world. If you're only using one side of your body, you're in a pattern of working on only one side of your body. But if you were in a pattern of working in the center line of your body that meshes with the vertical pull to Earth's centered gravity, then you're fine. The body works. Even opposing musculature connects into the center line from right and left, and there you go. Internal rotation on the right side, internal rotation on the left side, external rotation on the right side, external rotation on the left side. Oh, you're centered if you're centered. If you're not centered, you're in an imbalance. You're in a chronic pattern of working imbalanced, and you don't even know it. You know what? The body works before we know before we can know how it does. It only is what it is. But we just have to know what it is. We've all got one. Every body has one. That's crazy wording, isn't it? The truth? The truth is a crazy thing. How hard it'll hit you. There's only one way the human body could ever work. It's always just a position. It's always just a mechanical machine. I mean, even a punch like that. Let's go internal rotation on the right side. External rotation on the left. Bend the elbow. Pull the scapula back. Spine's now neutral because we've got opposing rotations on either side of the body. One side of the body accommodates for the other side. And now we extend the lever of the forearm and the lever of the upper arm from the hinge of the elbow with the musculature of the rear of the upper arm, the triceps, and you've done a punch. Because the body's always been able to punch before you can know how to do it. There's only one way the human body could ever work. You can't train it. It's impossible. But you can understand how it works and then use it with the capability it's always had and always will. Yeah, I mean, I could explain the anatomy of that even more deeply, the punch, but there's just always only one way the human body could ever possibly work. And it's just what it is. It's always, connected the exact same, from birth to death. Or really, since we're full grown until death, but we're just growing before then, to be this thing. Anyway, thank you. Here we are, 16th of August, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. Shoot. The body works before we can understand how it does. So the thing is, it's not a sales pitch, it's the truth. And to see how that is the case, that it's not some sales pitch only, we'll always sell good clothing, but we give a lot of free modifications in the literal word of clothing. But this could mean hats, glasses, gloves, pants, shoes, socks, tops, undergarments, jewelry. What? An apron, a dress, a coat. The point is the literal word of clothing. A blanket. You put a blanket over your shoulders. You're clothing your shoulders with a blanket. We give a lot of free modifications because there's a lot of universal, or fairly at least, universal clothing imbalances shipped across the entire earth in modern 2026 and going forth because of technology we didn't have in the past. Robots stitching clothing, but then also just airplanes shipping clothing places that it couldn't have gotten to the same way before we had the transportation. Rotated seams in clothing, collar seams, pockets, zippers, buttons, shoelaces, and drawstrings are just ropes we could tie on or around the body and twist the entire body with a knot, one side over the other. Chronic patterning. In the physical body, it's most directly caused by the only physical thing placed on us, the literal word of clothing. You don't have to care about fashion. We're not a fashion company. You don't have to even care about clothing, but you have to be intentional about it. You don't have to care to take care of your body in any sense, but it's the only thing that you have in this life. Everything else comes and goes essentially to or from your body. Once your body goes, your life's done. This one. Okay. Check out the other three sides of In the Image Clothing Company if you'd like to. Located here in the state of Utah, the United States of America, specifically St. George, Utah. We do what we do. And this location matters to us as well. It matters for what we are and who we are as In the Image Clothing Company. I mentioned it a little bit. In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. Check it out if you'd like to. Information that applies to all dogs on letting dogs stay natural. The same thing as what we do here under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company for human beings, with our slogan being allowing the body to work. Collars, leashes, harnesses, anything placed onto a dog is literally clothing the dog. It can damage the dog. But also just living in this modern man-made world placed onto God's natural earth like we are as human beings. The dogs don't understand it the way that we do, and so they can get really damaged and die shortened lifespans, or just like catastrophic accidents that are because of us as human beings, right? Seriously, yeah. In the Image Clothing Company podcast, you don't have to be religious for truth to be truth. We're all human beings. We're the same thing. Within this universal human design, it's a universal design of this human being. It's placed onto this rock in space we call Earth. We all abide by the same universal laws, physics. Gravity pulls down on us the same way. We're on episode 215 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast as of today's date, 20. It's not the 20 anything besides 2026 is the year, but it's the 15th plus one more. It's the 16th of August, 2026. Yeah, okay, there you go. Deep insights on life is what it is. In the Image Clothing Company music, we do a lot with music, rhythm and poetry, spoken word, lyricism, spoken word again. Sometimes it's a lot of that. Rhythm and poetry again. I'm a rapper, I really truly am. But singing and guitar playing, just music. But we do geared around the gospel of Jesus Christ with the messages because it's good news. The word gospel, translated into English, that's what it means. Thank you. Stick around. In-person events, we'll always have good clothing, like I mentioned, but just simple, minimal, light, brandless on the exterior clothing. Staying centered. There's a center line of the body, meshing with Earth-centered, vertical gravity pull, okay? Fitting correct, things like joints of material of clothing, meshing with joints of body parts. You can see this at the edge of the shoulder, okay? And being made in all the ways we can from 100% natural materials as well, because the body is. We're literally just the earth that we've eaten as a human being. Dog products, whatever products we branch out into under In the Image Clothing Company, we'll have them. Things that just make sense that we would actually need that could benefit our lives, right? But the point is also the environment, and so being minimal and not just having products for the sake of products. Stick around and find out.